Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in and welcome. The stuff I'm about to talk about in this video today is pretty heavy. This information is critical to know as an investor, not just in precious metals, but stocks, cryptocurrency, you name it. You guys probably heard precious metals are in the red today, but for a pretty good reason. A drug company named Pfizer found a 90% cure rate for the virus. So obviously this put people in a pretty positive space, right? Stocks went up, and this is not good news for precious metals, right? Precious metals are bullish when there's times of economic uncertainty, when things are going bad. And it puts us in a weird space because we profit off of negative information. So it's not like we want bad things to happen, but when they do, we make some money from it. That was what I covered in my last video, though. Go check that out if you want to know more about the vaccine, if you want to know more about all that stuff. I made that video earlier. This video is completely different, but just as serious. Maybe even more serious, because this is going to affect things on a much larger scale, a global scale. And not just talking about from a pandemic standpoint. This has nothing to do with that. This has more to do with gold and silver specifically. Now, Joe Biden won the election, so we know that a much larger stimulus package is going to be provided in the economy, $3 trillion plus dollars. Now, we don't have $3 trillion to give away, right? We really don't. America's $27 trillion in debt. And the only reason we're the richest country is because we own the most gold. That's the only reason. Things are going to get, this is where things can get ugly, right? Especially McKinsey actually announced there's gonna be another $10 trillion, what do they call it, a repair plan or something like along those lines. And that will completely destroy the dollar. The scary part about this is that the dollar is the USD is the world's reserve currency, right? Everyone across the globe relies on the dollar's strength. So if the dollar collapses, every country across the globe will also feel that and could also collapse. Countries are already opting out of the USD being the world's reserve currency because this pandemic, rightfully so, has exposed how broke America really is. Dollars lost 98% of its purchasing power, 44% in the last 20 years. Things are getting much worse. But that's still not the topic of this video. That's just to give a little context. That's just to give you guys a little bit of an intro on what's happening, right? If you really don't know. Hopefully you guys know a little bit of this stuff, but this is where things get bad. Green energy, which is great, right? And this isn't, if you want to try to attach a political view to what I'm about to say, you're missing the entire point anyways. So go ahead, but you're missing the point. Silver is scarce, probably more scarce than gold. Comes out of the ground roughly 8-to-1 compared to gold, but a lot of gold is remelted, rescrapped, reused, recycled. Silver's not. Most silver's lost in technology. So a lot of silver, the ratio may be 8-to-1 coming out of the ground, but it's actually lower than that because the recirculating supply of gold is it's like 90%, 95%, right? Silver is much, much, much lower. Nobody's scrapping silver. It's not profitable to do so. They're not taking time to scrap a laptop or go through the jewelry drawer and, pawn silver. They're doing it with gold because it's profitable. Now, silver is an industrial metal, so it's used more in electronics as well. Things are going to get interesting because the silver production, especially from this pandemic, has been getting cut back by the hundreds of millions of ounces from the last 7 years. And this year it's been extremely bad because Mexico and Peru, the top producers of silver, were hit hard with the pandemic. Very, very limited production, very limited workers at these mining sites, and even transportation because all the boundaries, from all the countries. It's silver's bad, right? U.S. Mint sold out of American Eagles. Royal Canadian Mint shut down for 2 weeks. So the picture for silver is very, very dim, right? There's not much silver. And silver mines, there's not even silver mines. People are looking for gold because it's profitable. Miners aren't looking for silver. They're going to look for the thing that's 80 times more valuable. So silver is found by accident. The only silver that's coming out of the ground is literally found by accident. And I say all this is vital to know. All of what I just said is extremely important to know. Everything I say on this channel is for a reason. I'm not just talking out of my butt. This is why I say this. Because over the next 5 years, Biden is putting together this green energy plan, right? Everything's going green with solar panels, solar technology. Everything is going to be green, right? To try to save the ecosystem and the economy. There's going to be a lot of silver needed in these solar panels because of photovoltaic cells. Silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity. It's used in everything. It's used in laptops, cell phones, dental alloys, medical, wall paint, right, space equipment, everything. Even some have to, a lot of it's actually used in trying to find a cure for the virus because of the micro antimicrobial properties or whatever it's called. So in the next 5 years, silver demand is going to be up, right? To say the least. Not only just Joe Biden's green energy plan, but 5G towers, 5G technology, and electric vehicles. So a lot of silver is going to be needed. I actually just made a video a couple of days ago where there's another use that's being discovered. So the business side, the big company side of silver is going to be needing a lot of silver. And as the price starts to rise, individual investors like you and I will also be trying to get a slice of the silver pie. So silver is going to be needed everywhere, but there's not much of it. Not much of it at all. So there's going to be a huge silver shortage. We know that low supply, high demand shoots the price up. But ladies and gentlemen, things get even worse. This is, I can't make this stuff up. I really can't. The dollar index is directly correlated to gold and silver's strength, right? When the dollar is hurt, when the dollar's down, gold and silver are up and vice versa. It's like a direct correlation. When we throw all of this money that we don't have, all these trillions of dollars into the economy, it's going to drastically hurt the dollar. So that is guaranteed proof that precious metals will be up from that. How long? That's where people are speculating. That's where there's a lot of speculation, but that's really not the point. It's really not the point. That's going to be the fuse that sparks everything, right? Because that is when the price will stay high, build stability, and then right afterwards, what happens? All these trillions of dollars get thrown in from the stimulus, and then all the demand from silver, from green energy and all that comes in, and it's just going to push silver higher. Needed more scarce, and since there's such a limited supply, since silver's so scarce, that's why you're seeing, we're already starting to see the consequences. That's why you're seeing $15 premiums on American Eagles, right? American Eagles used to be $1 or $2 over spot at most. They're strictly attached to spot price. All bullion coins are like that. You know, Canadian Maple Leafs, any coin where the design stays the same every year, it's just a standard bullion coin, should be sold around spot price and has been for decades. But nowadays, this is the first year where I've seen an American Eagle worth just as much as a Chinese panda or a kookaburra, right? Pandas and kookaburras are collectible coins. It's called high premium silver because there's very low mintage numbers. The design changes every year, and it's just a nicer looking coin, right? Way more collectible. But American Eagles, so even your standard bullion, have premiums. I can guarantee in the next 5 years, silver is going to be, or the economy in general is going to be in a very different place. People think just because Biden won, everything is going to slow down. It's actually the opposite. These pandemic numbers, the virus numbers are actually increasing more than ever. So things are pretty much just getting started. If you want an idea on how serious things are, and I don't try to make this video to scare you. I need you guys to understand what's actually going on because the media doesn't cover stuff like this. 95% of people don't know this information. So imagine walking around thinking that Biden won and everything's going to be great now, and not knowing any of this, not even knowing that America's in debt. Imagine that. Imagine being an investor and not knowing this stuff. That's why I say you got to be subscribed to my channel, or at least channels like mine, to give you guys a daily dose of the precious metals market, a daily dose of the economy, what's happening and what you should do about it. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Over the next 5 years, the economy is going to shapeshift. A new person in charge with the green energy, all of that. Imagine this. Silver's $25 right now. Do you honestly think, and tell me honestly, do you honestly think in 5, 10, 15 years, silver's still going to be $25? Honestly. No way. There's no way. There's no possible way with silver was $50 not even 10 years ago. And that was from what? Let's compare. If you really want to know how severe, how serious things are, here it is. 2008 was the credit crisis, the financial crisis, right? That was pretty bad. $1 billion stimulus packages were being thrown out. Nowadays, $1 trillion. $1 billion compared to $1 trillion, that's a big difference, especially when we're talking about tens of trillions. $1 trillion stimulus packages today, $1 billion back then. Back then, after the $1 billion stimulus packages, recession/depression, it led to $50 silver 3 years later in 2011. So that led silver to $50. $1 billion stimulus packages, get the picture, $50 silver 3 years later. Nowadays, we have $1 trillion stimulus packages, a global pandemic, and one of the most controversial elections with silver shortage, green energy plans, and all this happening. Do you really think if that led silver to $50 back, then imagine what it could lead silver to today? Things are much more severe, much more dramatic, much more exaggerated. So if you want to talk about crazy silver prices, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're living in crazy times. The virus is still getting worse. The dollar hasn't even got hit by all this stimulus yet. Things are only going to get worse. And the craziest part is I make this video, right? And this is just one of the many reasons why silver is bullish, right? I make videos every single day on this channel, and every day I'm basically talking about another reason. There's probably 20, 30 reasons why gold and silver are bullish. No matter who won the election, gold and silver were going to be on top. No matter who won. It's much bigger than any presidential candidate. It's much bigger than that. Nobody can fix this. Nobody can fix $27 trillion. Our fiat system is designed to fail. And here's what I think is going to happen. You want my honest opinion on the way our financial system is going? Here it is. Third world countries, you're going to see you're going to see a glimpse of where we're headed by looking at poorer countries, right? This is what's happening in third world countries, so we can get a glimpse of where we're headed. Third world countries, their money, their dollar bill has been deflated even more than ours. Ours has lost 98% of its purchasing power, meaning that what we used to be able to buy with $1 has drastically gone down. That's why you could buy a gallon of gas for 20 cents back in the day. Nowadays, you can't do that, right? And in 10, 15 years, $10,000 will be worth like the amount that, or $2,000 is today, right? Our money's going down. So our money's going to be so deflated that the dollar is going to be worth about like 20 cents or 10 cents. So imagine buying something for $5. You're going to have to use tens and hundreds of dollars. Third world countries, they carry their money in trash bags. They weigh their money on scales because their dollar bills are so deflated, so worthless. It takes hundreds of dollars just to buy something basic, to buy their basic needs. That's where we're headed. Nowadays, we're seeing this word called cashless nations appearing, where they don't even use cash. A lot of them are going digital. They're using Bitcoin. That's where we're headed. I don't think that we're going to use Bitcoin, though. I think there's going to be a new currency. And Bitcoin has a lot to do. Bitcoin's decentralized. With a centralized system, a centralized government trying to do that, it wouldn't make sense. But there is one altcoin called Ripple that does make sense. Ripple is a decentralized cryptocurrency, but it's controlled by a centralized bank. So a centralized bank has control of a cryptocurrency. And if anything, think about money in the future. It's going to be digital. It's going to be digital. We're heading in a new digital era. We're heading in a new technologically advanced era. It's going to be digital, right? Look around. Swipe cardless ATMs, right? Everything's digital now. Swipe of a card, card chips, cardless ATMs, Bitcoin ATMs, digital transactions, pay from your phone, Google Pay. We're heading into a digital age, and money's going to be digital as well. Cryptocurrency does have benefits. It's a global coin. So there is no Bitcoin of China, Bitcoin USA. There's one Bitcoin. It's like everyone's speaking the same language on a monetary platform. That's what it is. It's global instant transactions with zero to little fees. Now, Bitcoin has problems, Litecoin has problems, Ethereum has problems, but Ripple would make sense, or some type of, or another form, another branch off from it. So anyways, I know I covered a lot in this video, but this is all very important stuff to know. Very important stuff to know. At the end, that was me sharing my speculation, my opinion, right? But the beginning half of this video, the first 3/4 of it they're facts, right? You can look up usdebtclock.org. You can see America's $27 trillion in debt, and it's getting worse. It's never going to get better, right? It's always getting worse, especially when we throw another potentially 13 trillion. Right, that's almost half of what our entire debt over the entire birth of America has been. That's crazy to think about all at once. So I honestly don't know if the dollar will survive, and if it will, then there's going to be a lot of big changes. And gold and silver are always going to come out on top, always. Stocks, not so much. Stocks are pegged to the dollar, so it's like switching seats on the Titanic. Stocks are going to go down with the dollar. You got to put your money in stuff that holds its value. Over time, the dollar goes down. Over time, gold and silver goes up. That's just how the world works. So I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I could keep going on, honestly. I can go on for another 30 minutes, but this video is already around 17, 18 minutes long, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you want to know more, if you thought this video was educational, informational, or at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. Every single day, I'm posting videos. Also, go check out the video I posted earlier today about the vaccine, about the 90% cure rate, and what that's doing to the precious metals market. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.